What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I am here to do one of my quick hit scouting report videos for week 13. The season is obviously starting to, get to the back portion of the year, and so the scouting report videos are getting less and less each week. So I'm only going to have a few of them for you this week, and obviously this week is going to be a little bit slow considering the fact that we don't play since we are on bye. So that means there's going to be no preview video on Friday, nor will there be a post-game video on Monday. But it is what it is. I will have content. I'm obviously still going to be doing my what does it take to make it to the playoffs video on Wednesday, and then my scouting report videos throughout the week. And I'll make any videos as necessary if they make roster moves or what have you. So anyway, let's get into it though. This one is for the New England Patriots at the end of the season. So they did just beat the Bills last night 14-10. Bills are now 7-5. Patriots are now 9-4. Not only do they lead the division, but they also happen to be the number one seed in the AFC. So it is what it is. I mean, what are you going to do? Here are the Patriots yet again. But anyway, I think the Bills will still be fine as far as playoffs go. I think they'll still make it in, but it looks like the Patriots may, in fact, actually take the division from them. There are still a few more weeks, and they do play each other again, so we will see how that shapes up. That's obviously going to be one of the things that we will be paying attention for this upcoming week in week 14 is how does, the playoff picture and stuff continue to shape up as games are played and so on and so forth. So, but anyway, they do lose, or they do beat the Bills 14-10. I just want to say a couple quick things about this game. Obviously, it was a defensive-heavy game, which played a large role in why the score was so low. It was also apparently super windy, and so the Patriots, they didn't even try to test throwing the ball. They only threw the ball 3 times, but it absolutely did affect the game as well. I mean, it ended up being a factor in a missed Tyler Bass field goal, actually the shortest of his career. It was only from 33 yards, but he missed it a little bit wide. And it was because of the wind and how the wind, pushed the ball or whatever. And it was crucial because it was late in the game, and at that point, if they would have gotten that field goal, it would have been 14-13. And then the final drive that the Bills had, instead of having to go for it all and try and get a touchdown on 4th and long inside the red zone, then, or at least a first down, then, they probably, or they could have just kicked the field goal and made it 16-14 and walked out of there with a win. So that was crucial. It did certainly play a factor in the game. Also, I want to say that there was some bad officiating in this game, and it did favor the Patriots, so that was a factor as well. But and I say that in part just because I want Dolphins fans to understand that there's bad officiating across the league all the time. So they just need it when it comes to the Dolphins and the results of Dolphins games and so on and so forth. We just got to get over the officiating and just stop worrying about it. Like, can we, in the moment when it happens, can we be like, oh, that was a bad call and stuff? Yeah, sure, whatever. And, if it actually, if there's a bad call or whatever in a crucial point of the game and it decides the game, okay, fine. But otherwise, we just got to get over it. It's been bad for years, and it's across the entire league. It's not just us. So anyway, I do think that was part of it. There were a couple of instances in which the Bills got screwed by bullshit calls or whatever, or even there was a bad spot in my opinion when it came to the Patriots, and they had to pick up when they went to pick up a first down on like 3rd and 1. It was when Mac Jones did a quarterback sneak. Anyway, whatever. So it is what it is, though. The Patriots do win this game. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Let's go team stats first. So here we are. New England had 241 total yards, and Buffalo had they allowed 230 to Buffalo. The Patriots, again, they only passed 3 times the entire game, and so that's why they only have 19 passing yards. Buffalo had 131. New England had 222 yards on the ground, though, allowing 99. New England was 4.9 yards per play. Buffalo was 4. Both teams lost a fumble. Neither team threw an interception. New England allowed no sacks but got 2 of their own. They were only 16% on third downs, allowing 30% to Buffalo. New England had the ball for 32-01, 27-59 for the Bills. New England had 6 penalties and 3 for Buffalo. Okay, now let's take a little bit deeper dive. So Josh Allen was 15 of 30, 145 and a touchdown. He also led the way in rushing, 6 rushes, 39 yards, and a 6.5 average. Devin Singletary added 10 for 36 and a 3.6. Zach Moss, 8 for 21 and a 2.6. Receiving, Stephon Diggs led the way, 4 of 7 for 51. Gabriel Davis, 2 of 4 for 30 and a touchdown. Emmanuel Sanders, 3 of 6 for 22. Dawson Knox, 2 of 6, 14. Zach Moss, 2 of 3 for 12. Cole Beasley, 1 of 3 for 11. Real quick before I go on, though, I just want to say something. I think because we're seeing this year that some of these top quarterbacks in the league are having struggles, right? You see Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, right? For example. And even Justin Herbert. And they're all different scenarios in different contexts or whatever. But I think that people need to calm down with the, oh my God, they're falling off the side of the fucking earth and falling off a cliff, whatever, and they're busts and they suck and blah, blah. First of all, in Justin Herbert's case, he's in year 2, and he's having some sophomore struggles. Obviously, too, they changed a lot of their coaching, and the coaching appears to not be as good this year, and they're not playing to his strengths, so that has something to do with it. But in addition to that, he's a sophomore. He's in his 2nd season, and after having such a spectacular rookie season, it is actually only natural to see some struggles at times. And he is still a young quarterback, a young player in this league. Nothing unexpected or unreasonable there. When it comes to Josh Allen, I think the primary issue with the Bills and Josh Allen and their offense has been this year is that they really need to pick up the run game. They need to get, they just need to improve their run game, whatever that means. I don't follow them closely. I actually think that they're running backs, and then especially when you throw in Josh Allen's ability to use his legs too, I think that they're pretty solid with it. Like, I actually kind of like their running backs, but they may have it may be a similar situation to the Dolphins where they just don't have that lead guy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably part of it. But they just need to improve their run game so that way they can have balance, and so that way Josh Allen doesn't have to do absolutely everything, and so that way he doesn't have to pass a million times. And even in this game, if they would have been more run heavy, and if they're able to be successful at it, right, then it probably could have given them, I mean, just like the Patriots did. They literally only ran the ball and threw it 3 times because of how windy it was, right? So anyway, and then like Patrick Mahomes, he just needs to get used to not, always going for the deep ball and always scrambling to, take what the defense gives you sometimes. And then that will allow you, to take deeper shots, because then, coverages will change, linebackers will play up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So he just needs to, get used to not having to be a superstar all the time and, make crazy plays every single down, and actually take some of the shorter to intermediate stuff, check down a little bit more, right? Get your dump offs. Lamar Jackson, he just needs to improve on being more of a pocket passer, right? So all different situations, but all stuff that can be fixed and developed as these young quarterbacks go through their careers. So I just find it ridiculous, the knee-jerk reactions that people have, and the oh my God, all of a sudden they're busts and so on and so forth. Or even with the rookie quarterbacks this year, and Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence and guys like that, for example. They're still young guys, and I would say that, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence is kind of in a shitty situation. Not only is it a young rebuilding team, but there's been the drama, et cetera, et cetera. So, people just need to cool off with the extremely emotionally invested takes, and just learn to have some balance in your evaluation. Take everything into account and just relax a little bit. Anyway, continuing on, I know that has like literally nothing to do with this video, but it was another one of those things that was kind of on my mind, and like people are just going crazy. I mean, you know, Tua's another example, one way or the other, whether, you know, people are saying that he's, you know, a bust, or people who are saying that he's a bona fide franchise guy. Now, I absolutely think he has shown the ability, the toughness, the skill set, etc., enough to show that he is worth building around and absolutely could be a franchise guy, and I do think that he will be. But he's still a young quarterback, and he's been put in a terrible, terrible situation, and you just need to fucking, like, I don't know. People are just wild. Anyway, enough of that. Let me continue on with this. So Mac Jones was 2 of 3 for 19 yards. Damian Harris led the way, though, in rushing. 10 rushes, 111 yards, a touchdown, and 11.1 average. Ramondre Stevenson added 24 for 78 and a 3.3. Brandon Bolden, 4 for 28 and a 7 average. Receiving, Jonnu Smith led the way, 1 for 1 for 12 yards. So, you know, interesting stuff. Now, the Patriots, this is the one game on the schedule remaining that I think is, you know, nothing is guaranteed in the NFL, so I'm not saying that it can't happen, but I think that the Patriots, no matter what, are going to be playing for something. You know, at this point, it very well could just be the number 1 seed in the AFC, right? Or over the next few weeks, if they start to, you know, if they add on some losses and the Bills, you know, win some games and take over the division, then maybe it's a wild card spot, right? So I think no matter what, in week 18, the Patriots are going to be playing for something. They're not just going to be resting starters and taking it easy or whatever. But it's the one game on the schedule. But, you know, if it gets to that point and they do something like that, then maybe there is a chance for the Dolphins to go 10-7 and squeak into the playoffs. I mean, obviously they still have to beat the Jets, the Saints, and the Titans as well. But this is the one game on the schedule where I just, right now, and, you know, I just don't think it's going to be a win. I don't see us being able to beat the Patriots. We're going to get to these league standings in just a second. You know, but for the rest of the way, you know, I feel confident about the Jets game. I'm on the fence about the Saints and the Titans game, and then I think the Patriots is going to be a loss. So I still believe, you know, and again, I'll talk about this more in my what does it take to get to the playoffs and over the course of the rest of the season, but as of right now, I still think, I mean, I've obviously the entire year I've thought this to be the case. I think that their ceiling is still 9-8, and there is still a chance that they could end up, I don't think they're going to end up at 6-11 at this point, because again, I feel pretty confident about the Jets game, and then the Saints and Titans game I'm kind of on the fence about, and they could win, but they still could end up being 7-10 or 8-9 as well. But I think that their ceiling is 9-8, because I just don't see them winning out, especially with this Patriots. But again, it is the last game of the season, so if the Dolphins do get to that point and they're 9-7 and the Patriots are like clearing away the number 1 seed, and they literally don't have to win that game to stay as the number 1 seed. Now, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills, the Chargers, all of these teams could, push them and challenge them for that, so I don't see that being the case. But if it is the case and they do decide to rest starters or whatever, then there is an increased probability that we could end up winning this game. Anyway, let me get to this because this video is getting a little long. So Patriots are currently 12th in the league in total yards offensively, 4,505 on the season, 18th in per game average at 346.5. They're 15th in total passing at 3,103. They're 19th in per game average at 238.7. They're 6th in total rushing with 1,606 yards on the season, 11th in per game average at 123.5. They're 4th in total points with 350. They're 8th or 7th after ties in per game average at 26.9, and they are 7th in third down offense at 43.3%. So obviously you can see that their offense is in the top half of the league in pretty much every stat. And, in some of these categories, they're actually really good. So, and they have quietly become one of the better offenses over the course of the season in general. Defensively, though, this is where it is really scary for the Dolphins. They are currently third in total yards per game with 310. They're third in passing yards per game, 212.6. Rushing is where we would have, the best opportunity, but we suck at running the ball, so probably not going to help us out. They are 19th at 114.5. They're currently first in the league in points, at only allowing 15.4. They're third in takeaways, or tied for second with 26 on the season. They are second or tied for first with interceptions at 19. They're ninth or tied for sixth with 7 fumbles. They're 8th in the league with 32 sacks, or 4th with ties. They're second in passes defensed at 72, and they're 6th at third down defense at 35.8. So a very imposing defense, one of the best that we will face the entire season, and certainly the rest of the way down the stretch. So it's going to be, the Saints, the Titans, and the Patriots all have pretty good defenses. So that last 3-game stretch is going to be tough. But anyway, here are the Dolphins' current offensive and defensive league standings for you so I can wrap this up. Before I get out of here, make sure you check out the Rave On Sports App, the new fan-driven sports app for all of your sports, whether it be basketball, baseball, football, college, whatever you like. Look for the links to that in the description box. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Geez, apparently I can't talk during my very rehearsed ending. Jesus. And now I've lost my thought. Yeah, okay, whatever. You know the deal. Subscribe, like, hit the bell, share, with your friends and family, questions, comments, concerns, all that good stuff. I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate it all. Good stuff. Fins up, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Bye-bye. Love you guys. See you soon. Fins up again.